Market regulator SEBI has made infrastructure companies a happy lot by issuing fresh guidelines on the listing of infrastructure investment trusts. CNBC TV 18's Naveen Shetty and Arundhati Ramanan report that this latest notification gives the clarity that many non-traditional infrastructure companies were looking for as they prepare to list on the bourses.
Market regulator UK Sinha's mission to enable more infrastructure companies to raise funds from the capital markets is moving forward fast. SEBI has clarified many of the problem areas that infrastructure companies had pointed out when the rules governing the listing and trading in InvITs or Infrastructure Investment Trust issued earlier in May. These clarifications cover a range of areas, from permissible shareholding patterns to investment limits to procedures of issuance. Experts say these clarifications will result in more infrastructure companies, especially those in non-traditional spaces like renewable energy and power transmission, to raise money through their special purpose vehicles.
The guidelines, it is very procedural. It is talking about timelines, as I mentioned before. It is also talking about, specific point is on anchor investors, on terms of how much percentage can be allocated to anchors, what can be the minimum size for an anchor, what can be the maximum, all of that. So it's detailing out what was earlier there in the original guidelines. It gives a lot of clarity on the timelines.
This clarity will also help companies like GMR, IRB Infrastructure, IL&FS Transportation, MEP Infrastructure and Sterlite Technologies, which have been working on listing their projects under the InvITs banner. This rush will also mean that companies will have to work on fine-tuning their offerings to stand out among the crowd to make their issuances more attractive.
I think the challenge would be in terms of sustaining these listed entities, and there I think you need to have a differentiating element in terms of the nature of assets. So, our experience has been that a lot of these developers are focusing only on the annuity-based assets to list through the InvITs. And my sense is the differentiating element is going to be, the stories which will also have growth prospects.
That being said, some experts feel SEBI will have to provide more clarity on a few areas and even some tweaking to really get the ball moving, especially when it comes to the allowing of 25% minimum shareholding by non-institutional investors. In Mumbai with Naveen Shetty, Arundhati Ramanan.